Orbital breaks, ACL tears, and dislocations seem all too common in MMA today. So let's look at some of the more impactful and wild injuries in MMA history after Brian Ortega dislocated his shoulder against Yair Rodriguez trying to escape an armbar. One of the most famous and craziest injuries is the leg kick check by Chris Weidman against Anderson Silva. In their rematch at UFC 168 in December of 2013, Weidman checked a leg kick from the legendary Brazilian that broke his shin in half. An extremely devastating injury in many ways signaled the end of Silva's dominance in the UFC. Since that loss, Silva has only won 2 fights in the UFC, against Derek Brunson and Nick Diaz, but the Nick Diaz fight was overturned to a no contest as he tested positive for steroids. In a crazy twist of fate, Chris Weidman would suffer a similar injury to Silva in 2021 where he leg kicked Uriah Hall and instantly broke his leg. Some of you may be familiar with Cyborg Santos, the former husband of Chris Cyborg. He was an avid fighter in the 2000s and 2010s and ended up facing off against Michael Venom Page. At Bellator 158, Page flying kneed Cyborg and crushed the front part of Cyborg's skull, which can be seen with a dent in the front of his head here. This resulted in immense amounts of pain and discomfort for Cyborg and later led to him retiring from MMA altogether. In a blast from the past at Vale Tudo, Japan 1995, we have Yuki Nakai versus Greg Gordeau. To give some context, this was an early MMA tournament with huge mismatches between skill and size. Gordeau was 6'5" or 1.96 meters, and Nakai was 5'6" or about 168 centimeters. So Nakai is nearly a foot smaller than Gordeau, and in their match, Gordeau gouged the left eye of Nakai multiple times. This led to him going permanently blind in that eye. Nakai didn't reveal this illegal attack blinded him for many years, citing this could damage the image of the sport. Gordeau has also gone on record saying he would gouge Nakai again, an absolutely lovely human being. At UFC 265, Conor McGregor had his trilogy fight against Dustin Poirier. In the rubber match, McGregor threw a teep kick at Poirier and in doing so hit Poirier's elbow, which seems to have caused the fracture. In the moment, McGregor doesn't seem to realize this and goes to step with the same leg, and as he steps, the top of his foot instead of the bottom of his foot lands on the ground and his leg separates even more, and the ref stops the fight at the end of the round. This kept McGregor on the sidelines for a long time as he rehabilitated due to the injury. A very rare injury in MMA, but that has happened a handful of times, is a retinal detachment where the retina inside the eye detaches. And if it doesn't heal / isn't recoverable, the person may go blind in that eye. In 2013, Bisping fought Vitor Belfort, and the fight ended in a TKO via a huge head kick to the head and punches, but it seems that head kick caused the retina injury that later led to Michael Bisping going blind in his right eye. He fought for years with this lack of vision in his right eye, only revealing the true nature of the damage recently. He now wears a prosthetic over his real eye. There are a lot of arm-related injuries in MMA due to the submission served by grappling, but we had to include one to finish this off. Going back to UFC 140, Frank Mir rematched against legendary Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira. In this fight, Nogueira was winning and had Mir hurt with strikes against the cage, causing Mir to shoot. When he did, Nogueira attempted a arming guillotine, but Mir rolled and got on top of Nogueira, escaping the choke. Nogueira tried to counter this with a wrestling switch, but in doing so, he exposed his other arm and Mir jumped onto the Kimura immediately. Nogueira tried to roll him, but it failed, and he calmly let Mir break his arm, watching on. To this day, Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira does not regret not tapping against Frank Mir, one of the most wild grappling exchanges in MMA history that ended unbelievably. This win directly led to Mir fighting for the UFC heavyweight title again and rematching Brock Lesnar. We know there are many more moments and injuries, but these are some of the most meaningful and wild ones that impacted MMA and the UFC. Let us know which ones you think changed MMA the most.